How's it going, everyone? Protopon here, and I know it's been a while since the last time I posted, and the last post I did was covering the Psychic type for a tier list, so I figured why not do the exact polar opposite and cover the Fighting type today. That's what we're going to be doing. I hope you guys are ready, so let's get into it. Alright, for any of you who are new to the channel, I would first highly advise you go back, check out some of my other tier lists, but these are the three rules that I go off of, and of course, with any rule, there are always some exceptions, especially when it comes to the evolutionary line of a Pokemon. So with that out of the way, guys, let's just dive right on in, starting off with Annihilate. Annihilate is a really cool ghost fighting type. The last time I looked at this Pokemon was back on the ghost type tier list, of course, and there he found himself in the B tier. Since then, the design has grown on me a little bit. I think it's still pretty solid. You could still probably say it's at least a high B, but I think for the purposes of the fighting type tier list and seeing how we don't actually have all that many fighting types to begin with, as a fighting type, I think it's a very solid design. Obviously, Primeape was one of the original fighting types in Kanto, only just recently gaining the ghost type in Gen 9. Since I see it as a primary fighter, I think the design overall definitely can at least earn itself an A tier ranking for me. Not much more to be said about that. Moving on, a Poliwrath. I loved Poliwhirl line. Poliwrath is such a good design. Obviously, it splits off into Poliwhirl, but that's just, not Poliwhirl, but Politoad, I should say. But that's just pure water, and we'll get there eventually. Poliwrath, I'm having a hard time putting it either at the top of A for me or maybe even at like a low S ranking. Because I really am not the biggest fan of fighting types to begin with. It's one of those typings where it's like, oh, I'm grabbing it for its other typing, and oh, cool, it has fighting type as well. I'm going to put it at the top of A for now. It might move later, maybe not. Moving into one of our first clauses when it comes to what Pokemon I like in the lineage. Machoke here. I've always liked Machoke here more than Machop, of course, and I still like it better than Machamp, design-wise. Probably going to put it at the top of B tier. I think that's probably fair enough for that. Next up, we've got Hitmonlee, and we're just going to cover all three of these at the same time. Hitmontop and Hitmonchan. For the longest time, Hitmonlee, out of, pre-Gen 2, I always liked Hitmonlee better than Hitmonchan. But ever since I used a Hitmontop, and, me liking Gen 2 Mons, right? Johtoanian Mons, I like Hitmontop a little bit better now than these two. I'm probably going to put these guys down here. And I'm going to put Hitmontop actually in A tier. I do like this thing's design. I think it's interesting. He's like a mixed martial artist, Pretty cool. I like it. Heracross, we covered on the bug tier before, where it landed itself in A tier. Obviously, it looks more like a bug than a fighting type. It's cool that it has fighting type. I can't really complain too much. This is not going to be one of the situations where, like, the typing is going to, since we're covering the certain typing, it's going to differentiate what tier it falls in. I think this is still a solid A tier. But I guess as a fighter, I'm going to have to compare it to everything else in this list, and I think, like, I like it as a Pokemon. Do I like it? I think I'm going to have to keep it this way, in all honesty. I do like Heracross a lot, don't get me wrong. Alright, moving on, Gen 3, Blaziken. Blaziken, ooh, this is going to be hard, guys. Blaziken is definitely one of my favorite fire starters of all time. But we're talking about fighting type. And I'm just trying to think of like everything else that's going to be on this list. I'm going to have to put him, I guess, high in A tier. See, now this is the question, because I'm struggling to possibly even put him in S tier. But again, he could be like a gatekeeper. I'm trying to think if I actually like him better than Poliwrath, and I think the answer is yes. Which is saying a lot, because I love water types, but we're not basing this off of water versus fire. We're basing this off of fighting. So yeah, I think this is fair so far. I think this is pretty good. Next is Breloom. Breloom is an amazing Pokemon, definitely worthy of the A tier to me. Definitely like it better than these two. Yeah, I'm gonna go like this. I think that's pretty good. Breloom is solid, just a solid Pokemon in general. Hariyama's next. Hariyama, he's a good Pokemon. He's solid. He's bulky. He can hit pretty hard. Again, not really basing this off of how good it is competitively or anything. I mean, in-game playthrough, it's pretty good. Trying to think, based off of this, I think it's worthy of B tier, but I don't think I like it better design-wise than the original 3 here from Kanto, so we'll leave it there. Medichan, we've already covered in the Psychic tier list. I think it still lands itself solidly in B tier here. I actually like it a little bit more than Medichan, or not Medichan, Hitmonchan. So we'll do that. I think that's fair. Glade is next. Glade is, I mean, he landed himself in A tier Psychic video. This is the fighting type video, and again, fighting types to me, like, I already can feel like I'm not going to be putting a lot in S tier, guys. There's going to be very few mons. You know what? I'm going to upgrade Blaziken to S tier for fighting type for me. Glade's going to be up in S tier. Again, we'll re-rank S tier at the end of the video. I'm just going to throw some guys up here in the meantime. Everything is going to be in order from A to D. The first ripoff. Still a solid design. Don't like him as much as Blaziken. Still a solid design. I think probably all of the Sinnoh starters should definitely land themselves in A tier at the very least. However, I think I like Annihilate honestly better. Yeah, maybe. I'll think about it. I'm just gonna move on from now. We might make some adjustments later on. I think that's fair. Lucario again was an A tier mon in the Steel type tier list. Still overrated in my opinion. I still like him though. Don't get me wrong. Honestly, he definitely looks more like a fighter than he does a Steel type, so I can't lower him in this tier list based off of that, but I'm definitely not bumping him up to S rank. Because in all honesty, every single one of these Pokemon that are in front of him, I like more than him, so call me crazy, you can. I don't care. Toxicroak is going up into S tier. There's S tier in Poison type. It's not changing here. I really do like the design of this Pokemon. I wish they would have given him just slightly better stats. But moving on to the second knockoff of Blaziken. Embor here, still a cool design. He's got a great shiny. I can't in good faith put him anywhere lower than B tier. We're trying to... Yeah, I think this is fair. I think that's fair. Right there in B tier. Conkeldurr is a fair fighter as far as design goes. He's just straight fighting. He's the, you know, the equivalent of the Machamp line. I think it's a little underrated, in my opinion. I'm gonna put him right up here. I think that's pretty fair. These guys are just terrible. One's just slightly better. Sock and Throw, just not it, man. They're trying to be, you know, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan all over again. It's just like, okay, cool. You got a karate man and a guy wearing a gi. I mean, technically, I guess they're both gis, but it's not it. Scrafty landed himself in D tier in the dark type. He's gonna still land himself here in the fighting type. I just really don't like the design of this Pokemon. It's not terrible, but the typing is good. Don't get me wrong. Fighting dark is really good together, but he's just not my jam personally. We've got, what is this thing called again? Mienshao. Mienfoo, Mienshao here is pretty elegant in design, I gotta say. It's definitely B tier worthy. It's definitely B tier worthy, but do I want to move it above Hariyama? Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know. Do I want to put it above? No, I can't do it. We'll go with that. I like it. Cubellion, as we've covered in the Steel type, was an A tier there. It's still an A tier here. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fair. Terrakion, I gave a C tier back in the Rock tier. It's grown on me a little bit more since then. It definitely looks more like a fighting ground type than it does a fighting rock type. So just based off of that, I'm gonna bump it up to B tier. And I am going to put it in front of Hariyama. I'm sorry, Hariyama. You're just a basic B, and you might become the gatekeeper of the B tier here. Virizion. What can I really say about Virizion? He's okay. We'll cover him again when we get to the grass type. As a fighting type, he just doesn't look like a fighting type at all to me, so we'll put him at the top of C tier. He'll probably get a better ranking when we cover the grass type, but I mean, because his design overall is fine. It's pretty clean, but he just doesn't scream like a fighting type to me. So Keldeo, maybe a little bit more of a fighter. I'll put Keldeo in B tier, but I don't think I can go any higher than Hariyama on that one so far. Meloetta, now that we've got the other version of Meloetta, I like the other one better still. The other one I ranked as an A tier both times for the list that it's been in. Since we're now talking about the fighting type, we can actually now cover this one. This is a fine design, don't get me wrong. It's decent. It's pretty good. I'm gonna have to put it here. Chestnut, you poor Pokemon. You really did get done dirty ever since your creation. Your typing just really unfortunate. Obviously Virizion, same thing here. Grass fighting just gets obliterated by flying. And this thing just got outshined by both the other starters in its generation. I think it's fine design-wise. It's not like the greatest thing, but it's not the worst thing. I'm going to have to put this one also in B tier. Whoa. Yeah, we'll put it there. I think that's fine. Pangoro was a B tier in the dark type tier list. As a fighter, doesn't really do much more for him either. We'll put him there. Actually, no, I think I like Hariyama better. I'd rather probably use a Hariyama, in all honesty. We'll put him there. That's fine. Hawk Lucha is an amazing design. Definitely A tier. Really cool. His Mega that they're giving it looks very clean. I probably should do some Mega videos here, or at least my thoughts on the new ones. We definitely need to just do a Mega tier list to begin with. Maybe he'll gatekeep the bottom of A for me. I actually like Lucario better than him. As covered in Ice tier, Crabrawler or Crabominable, however you say this thing, Crabominable here is a D tier, and we don't really need to sit on that any more than that. What is this thing called again? This is Beware. Yeah, he found himself in C tier in the normal type. Find himself there again here. I'll put him at second place. Yeah. Passimian here is a decent design. He's just monkey. He's literally just monkey. You know what? I'm gonna do something here. We're gonna bring Keldeo down. We're gonna put Meloetta over just a bit. We're gonna put Pangoro over just a bit. We're gonna put Passimian here, just because I think its design is just better. All right, Kamo-O found itself in the C tier for the dragon list, just because there's just so many better other dragon designs. But here in the fighting type, I think it's actually kind of cool. I think it still finds itself in the C tier though, but I mean, it found itself at the top of C tier in the dragon tier list. It's gonna stay there, unfortunately. I thought I was gonna move it up, but just like looking at B tier right now, I just like, I don't know. I think they could have gone with a different idea. Buzzwole, bug tier was at A tier. He's still A tier here. Yeah, we're gonna start moving some stuff down here. Honestly, I can't remember who I like. Heracross is just better to me, I guess. I don't know. We'll go back and forth. I can't remember exactly where I ranked these guys on the bug tier as far as what order, but honestly, it really doesn't matter here. Whatever. Anyway, let's get to the Pheromosa. Pheromosa is still a C tier. I don't understand how this is a fighting type. We're going to put it at the bottom of C tier. Marshadow was a B tier. It is at the top of B tier. As a fighting, I mean, it's just really cute. Let's be real. It's just so cute. I am still going to put it at the top of B tier here. Surfetched, or yeah, whatever this is now. It's an interesting design. It's still a Farfetch'd at the end of the day. I like the headspace. I like the theme behind it, but I don't really know where to put this thing. I think we're gonna put him right here in B tier. I think that's pretty fair. Galarian Zapdos found itself in the B tier, in the electric tier. It's still a solid design here. This is really getting annoying because we have just so much in B tier. I just don't think things are all that great in fighting type. I just really don't. Yeah, let's just move these down. We'll move this down. Just because I see Medicham as more of a fighting design than I do this, I'm going to put him in between Emboar and Medicham. Sneasler. Sneasler was a B tier before in poison type. I don't really see it being anything other than that in this tier list as well. Yeah, whatever. Lilligant. This is very elegant. I love it. Great design. I am going to put it in... It'll probably get a boost into A tier more than likely in the grass tier, but for now as a fighting type, I'm going to put it there. Not much to say about it. Haven't ever used one. Decidueye... this version of Decidueye specifically, I don't know, man. It's not C tier. It's not C tier. It's either gonna be... I'll put it at the bottom of A tier, I guess. I think I like Hawk... No, you know what? That's it. I do like it a little bit more than Hawk Lucha. We'll do that. That wasn't that bad, I guess. Graplock, solid design. Wish it had the water typing added to it, at least. It would make more sense. Good coloration. I'm going to put Graplock there. Solid A. Solid A. Phalanx, very cute. B tier. Easy B tier. I'm just going to do this, because I don't really know if I like it a little bit more or less than the Meloetta. I think I like it a little bit more than the Meloetta, though. I'll just put that on record. I'm just going to put it right there, just because that's just where we can see it. Yeah. All right. Let's go in straight form for Zamazenta here. I love Zamazenta. Great Pokemon. I like this form, honestly, better than its steel fighting form. I'm going to put him in S tier. I just like it. I like it a lot. Urshifu. In the dark type tier list, it was a C tier, I think. No, it was a B tier. No, it was a B tier. That's right. It's solid. It's a solid design all the way around, whatever typing you give it. It's a solid B tier to me. As a fighter, it really does look like it's up there, though. Like, he's ready to go. I guess I'll rate him a lot more in the B tier for the fighting tier list here than probably obviously the dark tier and probably more than likely the water tier list when we get there. I'll put him at the top of B. He's grown on me a little bit more than when we covered him last, but he definitely looks more like a fighter than anything else, so we'll boost him to the top of B tier for me for that. Paldean Tauros, specifically fire form here. Not going to cover the other ones. This is just the best form for them. And I think I'll put it in... This is tough. This is tough. I think I have to put him above the Conkeldurr. I really like this Tauros, the way this Tauros looks a lot. They did pretty good in Paldea for him. Quaxley or whatever, whatever this is, right? I'll put him at the top of C. Do I like it better than Camo? It's close, just barely. I guess the coloration on the duck looks better than what they did on the dragon, so we'll do that. We'll base it off of that. We can actually bring these down. So at least on average, I like at least the majority of fighting designs as I'm going through this, but only at like a very mid level. So B tier, perfectly fine. Like, it's a good amount in A tier too, but like just none of their design, very few designs stick out to me like what we've got up in S tier. C tier, this was C tier the last time we covered this. It looks more like an electric type and a fighting type. It's good. It's at least better than this. It's at least better than that. This is hilarious to me that this is even a fighting type. I'm putting this down in D tier. Honestly, the Crabromitable looks more like a fighter than this thing. It does, obviously, for a lot of reasons. Flamingo, it's just a flamingo, guys. Like, it's literally just a flamingo. Great Tusk here, I believe, right? Yeah, Great Tusk. Very solid. A S tier design. S tier design. Slitherwing, the last time we covered it was in the bug tier, obviously. I believe. Yeah, bug tier. This does not scream fighting to me at all. Still a solid design. It landed itself in the S tier for the bug design. Because it really just doesn't look like a fighting type to me. And I like Poliwhirl more. I'm gonna drop Slitherwing down in this tier list. I think that's fine. I think that's fair. Iron Hands, still solid. Found itself in the A tier and the electric type tier list. This is how much of a difference I like Iron Hands more than just normal Hariyama, guys. S tier. For fighting, S tier. Looks great. It was low A tier for electric. I mean, it definitely looks like an electric. Although this, honestly, to me, should have been an electric steel type to me. Okay, maybe not S tier for this, just because of that. I think it should have been steel type, steel electric. Still solid design. Still like it better than Lucario, I'll tell you that much. Let's start moving things over again. Let's make some space here. We're gonna put them here. I like this is actually fair. Now that I'm really thinking about this, I do still like all these guys more than this, for fighting especially. So Iron Valiant, easy S tier, has found itself in the S tier. In the fairy type tier list, it's not going anywhere in this tier list. S tier, such a phenomenal job, such a phenomenal design. Okie dokie, D tier. Probably gonna sit at the top of D tier, surprisingly. Yeah, I think that's fair. And finally, Koraidon. Koraidon, obviously, in the Dragon tier list, I rated him as an A tier. Still doesn't really seem like a fighter to me. I can't in good faith put him in S tier for the fighting tier list. But I also think he's way too sick of a design to put in the B tier list. I think right there. I think right there is fine. I think that's fair. All right. That is getting them all up here. Literally 6 in the S tier, guys. And honestly, this really, I don't have to put too much thought into this. I still think I like Delayed better than Iron Valiant. Design-wise, I think it's just... I mean, man, no, I can't say that. I cannot do it. Okay, Zamazenta can sit at the bottom of S tier. But he was very much at the top of the poison type tier list, guys. But ever since this thing's release, I've always looked at him as like such a cool concept. I mean, he's the first poison fighting, and I love that. I love Toxicroak. He's definitely my favorite, still to this day, ever since Gen 4. Still my favorite fighting type ever. Let me know what you guys think. What is your favorite fighting type Pokemon? Leave it in a comment below, guys. And with all that said and done, hopefully I'll be getting another video out soon. Hopefully I won't take another, 2 months in between videos, but, things come up in life, and some things are just more important to deal with than having to worry about, doing your hobby. At the end of the day, YouTube is still just a hobby for me, guys. So, but I hope you like this video, guys. If you did, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you stuck through this long, obviously you enjoyed the content too. So why don't you consider subscribing? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for the time of the day that you've taken to watch this video. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Take care. I'm Protopon. Peace.